rangi. Kei te whakawhiti reo ki te ui I ēnei o ngā rangatira kua haramai ki Rotorua, ki te Arawa, ki te mihi atu ki watatau nei kura o Rotorua, ki ngā kaiako ki ngā tumuaki o tēnei rohe, he ai nā te mahi whakangungu o ēnei tokorua wa mātou nei tumuaki I pakari ai. Nō reira, just going to quickly transition into English because we do have our wonderful guests here with us today on Te Reo Irirangi. It is Vikram and Asha Murthy, aroha mai, korua, who have come over here from Australia to launch their book. So no mai hoki mai ki tēnei o wā korua nei papakainga. I will call it a papakainga for you because I still, even last night, you two, I was in an interview and your names came up twice with various people. So it was really lovely to hear that the legacy is still being acknowledged and it's still being utilised in our schools today. So Vikram and Asha came here actually it was around about 2014.
Yeah.
I think you first came into town. Leith rustled you up, Vikram, drew out the fishing line and managed to capture you to come over here and work with one of our projects, which was at the time Excel Rotorua. So no mai hoki mai. Enough about me. I'm going to let these two talk about the purpose of why they are here today and more importantly, the work that they have done within our Rotorua education sector.
Kia ora koutou. Thank you very much for having us on the show, Mercia. I've had a lot about this show and I know I'm going across the city, so thank you very much. So you're absolutely right. Our association with Rotorua is quite old, you know. We first came here because Leith called me, you're right, 2014, 2015, at which time I think you were heading the Project 8 or
yes,
Excel project.
Excel project, yes.
Yeah, you know, we've been doing this leadership program for industry, you know, for Vodafone and ANZ, etc. And this was a big opportunity to move it to education. And boy, was it fun, because I think we did 3 programs over many years. So we did the Voyager, we did the Change, and we did, of course, Learning to Grow, which is a leadership program, the long one. And it dovetailed into Napu Manuaiwaru project, yeah.
It did indeed, and once again very grateful for all of that because with the inception of Excel Rotorua and the leadership qualities that you were able to bring out in the initial participants, everyone bought into and engaged with the added value that it would add to our educational sector. So nei rā te mihi kia koe. And you've brought your beautiful wife.
Yes, I mean, you know, where my work starts and hers begins, and where mine ends and hers starts, you know, there's hardly any intersection there. So, hey, Asha.
No, it's wonderful to be here. I mean, you know, Leith is an old friend, and you know, Marcia, we've had an association for a while now.
Yes.
So wonderful to come back and launch the book in Rotorua. In New Zealand, but particularly in Rotorua, so we're very excited to be here.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the book.
Okay, without sounding like a plug, Being is, it's a carefully researched, highly topical, and I believe a very engaging deep dive into the virtues and practices of leading credibly in this uncertain times. And I think that anybody who leads anywhere, anytime, any place needs to read and heed what it takes to be a virtuous and purposeful leader in the I-connected world. And right there I introduced the term, which I think I'll leave Asha to explain, the I-connected world.
Well, we call it the I-connected world, and why is that? I mean, if you think about the influences of today, and think about the times we're living in. And you know that, Monsieur, you're broadcasting out of a place here, and it's going across the city, across the country, potentially. So basically, we're talking about a world that's moving at such a quick pace, based on the internet, media, social platforms. It's global. It's not just from here. And if you don't believe me, you just look at what happens on 1 minute on the internet. Yeah, 188 million emails are being sent as we speak. 18.1 million texts are being sent. 1 million people are logging into Facebook. 4.5 million videos are being viewed on YouTube, and 1.1 swipes on Tinder. Okay, hopefully not this early in the morning, but we don't know about that. But the point is, that is the world we're in. We're in a world that is moving so quickly, and the people who inhabit this world, these are the digital natives. And they are having their own news feeds, their own podcasts, their own Spotify lists. That's why we call it the I-connected world, because it's the rise of the individual.
Correct.
And in a world like this, you have to lead very differently. You can't lead like you've done before. We've had all the different types of leadership. We have situational leadership, or servant leadership, or instructional leadership, and all those may have worked, but right now we're in a different world. So the mindset of a leader needs to be quite different.
Quite true.
Great, which is a good point, and you're pointing to me, so I presume
You're going to talk about that.
I've got all the, nuances that go on with husband and wife.
That's right. That's the seamless tandem. Yeah. So, what are the dimensions of a leader's futures mindset? And this is something that we talk about in the book to begin the book. Largely because, Mercia, we want people to understand where we're coming from, because as they say, you can only follow what somebody is saying if you understand if they are following what they're saying. So the three dimensions of leaders' mindset, and you would be very aware of these, Mercia, because we spoke about these a lot in the courses with the principals and the deputy principals and the heads of department. And I think a lot of them actually live it, so it wouldn't be too difficult for them to recap. So the very first dimension is around this whole concept of focused attention, because the key to life is what you attend to is who you become and who you are. At the end of the day, when you're standing out there, if you don't attend to something, it's not part of your life.
Yes.
And that's a very important fact to get into your head, because each one of us is a sculptor. We all sculpt our brains, because neurons that fire together, wire together. So if you don't attend to something, if you don't give it focused attention, you're actually missing out on what you could become. The meditation experts and the mindfulness experts call it non-judgmental awareness. It's the ability to understand moment to moment what's going on in your life without swinging emotionally with the event. And that's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
The second mindset is this whole area of collaborative spirit. So human beings, even though we are born alone and we'll probably die alone, we are using collaboration as a strategy to meet the challenges of life. And when you look at collaboration, the big thing there is that you need to collaborate with other people. And for that, you need to understand who's a friend, how do you cultivate a friend, how do you keep them. And there's a whole science behind that. It's what's called social brain hypotheses, what's called evolutionary biology, and all that it tells us is that human beings are very good, very, very good at using gratitude, revenge, and vengeance to actually build great relationships. And it's these relationships that we depend on when you hit tough times. So the first mindset was about focus attention. The second is about collaborative spirit. The third is around this concept of collective wisdom. Now, collective wisdom has two parts to it. The first is around connectedness, to understand that just by ourselves, just by self-actualizing ourselves, sure, we can reach a platform. But if we can connect to other people, the universe will help you get to a much higher place.
Absolutely.
The second part to that collective wisdom is to understand that human beings are programmed to be smart as groups. So collectively, we are a darn sight smarter than we could ever be on our own. Makes sense?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And just listening to you speak, both of you actually, I felt like I was transported back to 2014 and 2015, and then all of the sessions that we rolled out over that period of 2 to 3 years just took me back to a really happy place actually, because it's unlocking. What your sessions did for me in particular is it reaffirmed theories, ways of being, ways of doing, but it actually unlocked potential. And that was probably the greatest gift that I saw in the 3 years that you participated within our community. You unlocked enormous potential across our schools. If I was to look at a number of our staff now who hold either deputy principal positions or principal positions as a direct, I believe it's been a direct result of not only the support they were given from their schools, but also the icing on the cake was the work that both you and Asha invested into our educational framework here in Rotorua. It's enormous, Vikram and Asha. So honestly, just thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gift of enlightenment and being.
I think you're very kind. And, I know Napu Manawa had a strapline. Rotorua, great place to grow, great place to learn.
Yes.
And I think, without exception, it's your education sector and your teachers and your deputy principals, your heads of department, your principals, who actually deliver that promise.
Yeah.
And what was wonderful, last night when we were catching up with Leith and talking about the different people and participants and how many of them have moved on to principal roles.
Absolutely.
And it was just, it just gives you goosebumps to know that people have, of course, huge support from their schools and their communities, but to be able to actually have had a part to play in that, and Vikram obviously has been directly involved, is fabulous,
Yes.
And Rotorua is a wonderful place to grow and a wonderful place to learn, and it's an absolute privilege that we've had to have that association. So thank you very much.
Oh, Kate te Pai. Now, the book launch is happening this morning. It's happening at Rotorua Boys High School in the library. What time is it again?
I think it starts at 10:30, and I believe you are the MC.
I believe I am too.
She's just been told, I think.
I'm juggling a little bit, but no, I'm really excited to be there. As I mentioned to you when you both arrived, we're in the middle of council induction, so today's another workshop which basically helps shape and form you, not in a bad way, but in a way that you're enlightened and you can be present to what's going to be unfolding over the next 3 years. So exciting to be able to share this morning with both of you once again, and also to be at the launch. Hopefully we'll get a bit of publicity there as well through Daily Post. No pressure, Daily Post, but make sure you're there. 10 o'clock, did you hear that? And what I'm going to just find now for you, and I do have to apologise publicly because people would have been listening to our live feed, not on air, but definitely on our pukamata. I forgot to switch your mics on because I'm still learning stuff, you see. So right at the beginning when I was going, it's fantastic to have you home and welcome. And then you might have noticed, Vikram, I went over and I went, boop, boop. We did capture the most important part, which was you talking about what the essence of your program actually is. But I'm going to find our waiata. Just one moment for those of us on air. I'm going to find our waiata that Ngāpu Manawa e Waru wrote. There it is, and I'm going to play this for everyone. So this is a song that is actually sung in all of our schools around Rotorua, and it does Exactly that. He waiata reo rua, no reira ka whakawhitia noa hau I te reo. He waiata reo rua tēnei, enari anei te tehi o ngā waiata ka papāho, ki watata nei kura katoa o tēnei takiwā o Rotorua. Nā pūmanawa e waru, Rotorua, a great place to learn.
Rani si tamata, whakahira hira.